are about. Hello, everyone. Happy Thursday. Happy On the Bright Side Day. And welcome. This is a on the bright side of the Women's Giving Circle, which is an affiliate of the Community Giving Foundation. And I'm so excited that we can all join together today to talk about ways to make the holiday season extra bright and meaningful for everyone. There's a wonderful season ahead to celebrate and enjoy together, and hopefully we can share some tips and tricks and learn along the way. Can everybody see the PowerPoint at this point, or did that disappear? Okay, we're good. Okay. I was having a little tech difficulty there, so I want to make sure. So I'm going to go ahead and just advance our slide here to this is where I can't see. Okay. The name of our event here too is Spice Up Your Holiday Season with Meaning. And so I again want to say that we're looking today to just take a moment from our busy lives. It's already been a busy season, and I know that this is a very busy season that we are heading into. So hopefully we can spice it up together, and we're going to kick it off today with Adrienne Mall from the United Way, Susquehanna Valley United Way. She's going to share with us a few things about what she's up to, what her team's up to, and hopefully get us in the right community giving mindedness today. So Adrienne, can you take it away?
Sure, I'd be happy to. Thank you so much for the invitation to come and join. And I'm always a big fan of, everyone sharing what they know and throwing in. So feel free to stop me if you want to add on something, or you know something maybe more than I do. And I think maybe at the end, we're going to do a little bit of that too, just kind of what do you know type of stuff. So it's just a quick refresher for anybody that knows the name United Way, but maybe is a little unsure of what we do. United Way is an organization that advocates for the health, education, and financial stability of community members in Columbia, Montour, Snyder Union, and Northumberland counties. We, of course, do that in two ways. The big way that's happening right now is fundraising money on behalf of 56 amazing nonprofit partners. All of them do programming in health, education, and financial stability. And then we also, in the second way that we do that, have a lot of community projects that we're partnering with. We always want to keep our finger on the pulse of the needs of our local community, those 5 counties. And then knowing those needs, we seek out great organizations that are doing this work and see how we can partner people together to make a bigger impact. So we know this time of year, our mandate kind of always is give, advocate, and volunteer. So I thought I'd kind of stick to that just to talk a little bit. We, of course, know that the end of the year is a really, really, really important time for nonprofits in giving. It's when they're doing their annual appeals. And a lot of our community members need a little extra over the holidays. Everyone wants to make sure that the holidays are special for their families. And I think for many, it really becomes a focal point of the season is, making sure that every family has, can celebrate in the way that they want to. So, giving is really important this time of year to make sure that everybody's got the money they need to make that happen. So, of course, that's kind of one piece of it. So, if you're someone that does annual holiday donations, we really appreciate that. Not necessarily for us, but for all of these fantastic organizations. That's very important. But another big thing that I think we don't think about very often is advocating or talking. And I think that's why this is, such a wonderful thing. Let's talk about the ways that we can be impactful to our local community. One of the big ways that we can do that is actually sharing what we know. I feel often very frustrated at United Way when I hear like, oh, I didn't know you did that. That's so cool. But like, nobody knows about that. And I'm like, yes, I know. Nobody knows about it because it's so hard to get your voice out there and your organization out there amidst all of the other things on social media and on the radio. And, there's so many ways to market now, but where are people actually looking and listening? And I know we're going to hear from Colleen later, who's helping us solve that specific problem. But I think just sharing what the opportunities are and, kind of who has what is one of the best ways that you can really be sharing this holiday spirit with people. So if you're going to something, if someone's doing something on the weekend because, someone's throwing an event, talk to people about it. Say like, would you like to come with me? Like, let's meet up there. I know we're going to talk a little bit, and I was the downtown manager for Bloomsburg before I took over the role at United Way. So I still have that kind of small business mindset too. But these late night shopping events and shopping local this time of year, it's just so important. So if you're going to take part in a downtown or a community event, there's a lot of people that work really hard to make sure those happen. So inviting people to those is really big. There's also so many, and then this kind of comes into the volunteer aspect. There's so many donation boxes around the community right now. I know that there's right in our building right now, there's a coat drive happening and a diaper drive, which Bree was nice enough to put up for us. Our diaper drive goes through the end of the week. And it kind of gets back to, making sure that we want all families to have what they need over this holiday season, be it toys, be it coats, be it diapers. We picked diapers at United Way because we know that families struggle, especially in the January timeframe after they've had wonderful seasons, made all these great memories. But then when the credit card bills, is the reality of it. When the credit card bills come in January, all of a sudden there's a real strain on financial budgets. And probably a lot of us have experienced that ourselves. So we thought if we could do a diaper drive and get diapers into the hands of people who need it, maybe it's one less thing they have to buy in January. So we have boxes up at both of our offices. This picture is taken out front of our Arch Street office that we love. And then we have an office too in Bloomsburg at Mulberry Mills. So there's donation boxes up there. And then Mifflinburg Bank too has been generous enough to put boxes out in all of their branches. So if you're stopping by the bank, bring some diapers, bring some wipes. We would love that. But keep an eye out. I know at all the local YMCA's and many local banks now, there are donation boxes up, and so wonderful to maybe grab something and throw it in there, or a great thing to start with your kids if you have them, or even grandkids. Like, we're going to buy something now to put in that donation box to be able to help other community members is really great. And then there's all these great ways to volunteer over the holiday season too. And I think that, Colleen, are you raising your hand, Colleen? Yes.
I just had a quick question so like the diaper drive, some churches do diaper drives. Do you guys work with organizations to give them the diapers and they give them out? Or are you connecting with families directly and people that are coming in for some of your services, you're giving out the diapers?
That is a great question. And it's kind of both of those things, actually. Our original intention was to just drop them off at local diaper banks and pantries. It's so much fun to bring diapers to those type of things. People get so excited, though, people who work at those banks. The diapers, it's a big thing to get in donations for diapers. It's one that gets overlooked a lot. So I love doing that. So primarily they'll be dropped off there. But as we were bringing the diapers in, we were lucky enough to get 2 pallets of boxes of diapers from Wise Market for the drive. So as we were bringing them into the office, the staff members that do direct service immediately were like, could I take some boxes to our families? The family across the street from us had an infant, had a brand new baby. And so before they even made it into our office, they were already being scuttled across the street so that the infant could have a pack of diapers. So they will also go to a couple of local families in our programs too. We have people who work with a parenting program, and also we do a lot of work with people who have substance use disorder and are new moms. So we'll make sure they go there too. So, Colleen, I don't want to steal the thunder from you actually in talking about places you can volunteer, because I think that that's part of that community resources. But there are a lot of places that you can volunteer this time of year already. Now, actually, it's probably done because we do it very early. But I know, and actually there's someone here from Salvation Army, so I won't steal their thunder. But I know there's a lot of work that goes into feeding people and making sure people still have really special meals for holidays, and all of that needs packing. And our staff actually this year is going to go to the Toys for Tots packing. I haven't done it yet, but I heard that it's like a very structured, and you get to pack all of the bags for families. And so I love to see how things work. So I'm very excited. So we have 2 opportunities for our staff to go pack toys for Tots. So if you're interested in volunteering or you want some more connection, there's a couple of different places you can go for that. And there are a couple of, I've been recommending if people don't know where to send families that do need help for the holidays, I kind of just always suggest Toys for Tots. That's our like local best place. But there is Brighter Christmas through the Press Enterprise too, where you can submit your information and be chosen to be one of the Brighter Christmas families. And then, of course, the Angel Tree tags for Salvation Army, which again, I'm not going to step on their toes. So I know that was quick. Go ahead, Bryn.
I was just going to jump in because I know that we are in a Zoom room full of, inspiring folks. I know that you're all active, busy bees in your own way. I just wondered if this would be a great opportunity to start getting engaged in the conversation in such a way that we can swap some ideas. So I'm going to throw this out to you in the chat. Is there an organization that you volunteer with that is doing something special this holiday season? Or is there something, a topic area that you would love to get engaged with to volunteer with this holiday season? Let's swap some ideas because maybe there are a few that aren't already on Colleen's radar, or that maybe all of us can have our eyes open to share with our networks. So, what's on your minds or your hearts at this point in the conversation? Go ahead and put it in the chat I'll give it a moment here. This is one of my favorite parts about the Women's Giving Circle is it is such a beautiful network of givers.
Great. Awesome.
Oh,
Great,
and
Colleen.
Adrian, as they're thinking and putting in the chat too, isn't there a diaper packing session coming up here too? Is that open for any new volunteerism?
Yeah, we would love to have that. We're going to sort and hopefully do a divide and conquer next Wednesday on the 20th. It's going to start at noon, and we're going to have some lunch and do some talking about where we're going to get those diapers out to.
Fantastic.
Yeah, that's great, Linda.
Loving the ideas flowing in. And I don't want to take away your time.
Yeah,
you can keep chatting and as ideas are coming to mind, throw in the chat today. We're going to touch on a couple different ideas of ways, again, to help us connect and really share it outward. I loved your word advocate, Adrian, because sometimes it's so important to just share and really advocate for everyone having that knowledge. So are there a few more topics that you wanted to share with us, or is there, I'll go ahead and turn it back over to you. I hogged the show there for a minute.
Yeah, I'll super briefly mention that the Ronald McDonald House is a great one because we have, actually, I'll just kind of put it all together. We last year cooked food at Mulberry Mills at our demonstration kitchen here in our office, and then we brought it over to the Ronald McDonald House, so you can cook at the Ronald McDonald House. But we also had a lot of fun with our staff cooking kind of off-site and bringing it over. So there's different ways that you can support Ronald McDonald House. You can freeze stuff so that they have it for days that no one's cooking. There's more than just one way to support them. And then I'll just also, I kind of have been talking about families, and I think that's what you think of during the holiday season. But if anyone is really more of a pet person, there are, a lot of different ways that you could give to feeding animals over the holiday. And then always at the local shelters, they're looking for people to come and just be with the pets, dogs and cats, but walk the dogs. So if you're more of a pet person, which is great, we've got a whole herd of pets at our house. So we're kind of both, I think, but there's a lot of ways to do things that are not just holiday specific or not just centered on kids. So anything that you're passionate about is out there for you in our 5 counties.
It's amazing. And I love that it gets so highlighted through this season because during the holidays, it is a little bit more challenging to manage the energy and taking a moment and volunteering or just even sharing what you know is going on with somebody else. It makes everyone take just a beat and say, okay, feel the joy of that giving. I am going to advance this because I guess effectively we are in the question and answer phase. And I guess I'll throw a word out to you. Adrian, help me expand on when you read all of these words, what does that mean in terms of the joy of giving through the holiday? What can you give?
Well, I think that that gets right back to, donate, advocate, and volunteer. There's a lot of ways to give, and
Right.
giving of your time, and there's so many ways. So that's what I think about, is like there's so many ways to be involved. But if you can, and sometimes I will just say over the holiday season, the best way you can do all of that is just show up for yourself. I'll just put a plug in. Self-care during this time is incredibly important too. You can really burn yourself out with all of the events and the caring for others and making sure that everyone else has what they need. So I will just, self-care is really important. So self-care and doing all those things, I think, are the best ways that you can encompass all of these wonderful things.
Well put. Um, So I'm going to throw another one out to the mix here. I was asked this at a recent event, and I think it's just something that kind of gets you thinking. But when we think about giving, so we've talked about community giving, but even when you're giving a nice gesture, a gift, what is something that you have really enjoyed receiving from someone that just made your day? And the reason I ask this, I'm going to even say, if you're comfortable putting in the chat, it gives us ideas. Or if you want to join the conversation and share, learning what made your day may give us ideas of how to make somebody else's day. And gifts come in all shapes and sizes. So if you have an idea of something that really was special to you, small, medium, or large, throw it in the chat or speak up. We'd love to hear from you.
I would actually love ideas on this. It's so funny that you just said that, Bree. We just got some grant money to start a mom's support circle. And we, in addition to giving them things they need for their kiddos, the staff member was like, I really want to give them something too. But then we started talking about like what we would give them, especially not something that would like, they're already so busy, like take away from, all the stuff that they have to do, or like that would just sit on a shelf and never get used. So if there are things that you really love that you think would be good, well, I would love to know that, because we kicked a couple things around, but
yeah,
I'd be
we still love
happy to
ideas.
share. I received a book through our White Elephant type gift exchange for the Women's Giving Circle holiday party last year. And the book was Brene Brown's The Gifts of Imperfection. Katie had gifted it. And I'm pretty busy and I don't read a lot of books. Admittedly, I would love to read more, but the book had significant impact and is a book for any woman who is a professional, any young woman aspiring, to do a lot in their life and just feeling like, how do I all get it? How do I get all this done? It was such a feel-good book and so inspiring on many levels.
That's wonderful. And I'll second that book. I've read it myself, and it just so many beautiful nuggets and reassurances. We all need that, especially during the holiday season.
Absolutely.
And white elephant parties are fabulous. We are very fortunate. I should have probably properly introduced myself. I'm Bree Applebaum Kula. I'm on the steering committee with the Women's Giving Circle. And we do have members of the Women's Giving Circle here today. And I believe Linda Brown, our chair, is also in attendance. Yeah. Hi, Linda. And every year we have a white elephant party as our holiday celebration, and it is always a hoot. And just watching the joy of you don't know what you're going to get. You're having fun to see what someone thinks of what you gave. The commentary around it. There's just something really nifty about that gift exchange moment you can have with someone, and there's a joy that comes out of it. So we love it there. Do any of you have office parties like that where you look forward to certain moments of exchange? Yeah. If anybody wants to share today. I promise I won't put anybody on the spot. But again, keep sending the ideas through chat. It's really fun to watch it light up, and if anything, just sounds like an aha that you can share. We are going to, when we finish today's presentation, we will turn it into a video and a follow-up email and try to share out some of the information we've learned today, as well as any other tips and tricks along the way. Again, just to spice up your holiday and do it in a purposeful, meaningful way. Let's connect all the dots. But without further ado, I think maybe why don't we switch gears here and bring Evita forward. We're very lucky to have Evita here today from the Salvation Army. And I apologize for using first names here. I just feel so comfortable in this setting.
I prefer that anyway.
Well, welcome aboard.
Thank
We're
you.
so thrilled to have you. Can you tell us more about, what Salvation Army does and what you're up to this holiday season?
Absolutely. Currently, right now, we are in the middle of our Angel Tree campaign, where we are gathering toy requests from families, food for them as well. We'll give them a whole turkey meal with all the fixings. So we're in the middle of doing all of that. We've seen a huge increase. Okay, huge for me in this area is like by 40, 50 people. So I come from a larger city, but that's a huge impact here where we're seeing a nice increase in needs of families who are in needs. We've been meeting a lot of folks who were very brand new this year to our program, just kind of telling us the need is just greater this year with other increasing costs. Christmas has taken a back burner thought. So we've had some folks coming in. We just finished that registration this week. We are at capacity. We've even exceeded all of our donors, and we still have tags left over of kids who need to be adopted out. So that is one thing that we're working in the midst of. And then tomorrow we launch our kettle campaign. If you're unfamiliar with that, it's all the beautiful sounds at Walmart and all the stores you go to, the bells ringing. So we have all of that going on as well. That starts tomorrow, and that will go until Christmas Eve. We will be at Walmart, Lingles, Kohl's, a couple other spots. We've met up with a couple private companies as well who are allowing us to put what's called a counter kettle at their location. So that way, if folks pay something, they got some change, they could put it in there. Every penny adds up. So that's what we're in the midst of. And then the third item that we're doing right now would be called the Here for Good campaign. I don't know if you're familiar with it, but it's a campaign that we've been running here for many, many years, here serving Northumberland and Union County. I'm located in the Milton Salvation Army office, but we do this in partnership with the Sunbury Salvation Army, for we're both in the same county. But Milton is who really leads it and does the majority of the stuff for it. And then the funds that we raise are divided evenly between both Sunbury and Milton. Sunbury serves, I'm very new, so excuse me if I don't have the counties right. So Sunbury serves all their area plus Shields Grove and Shamokin. I don't know if they're all in the same county, but then I serve here all of Milton, some Watsontown, Turbitville, Lewisburg, all of that. Those are the areas that we serve, plus some other small towns around the area. So we're right now in the midst of those are our three big campaigns that are happening right now. That will go from starting as well, Toys has already started, but then tomorrow our kettle campaign, where we're trying to raise $35,000 for that. And then our Here for Good campaign, our goal for the last few years has been $250,000. So that's where we're at right now. We are just doing our best to try to help folks. There's been a huge increase in costs for folks, and they're having to make sacrifices. We've had some folks that have just come to me and just say, I have an eviction letter and stuff like that. So we do social services all year round as well, helping out with eviction prevention, electric, some minor food items. We are not the main food hub here in Milton. And then we do toys and some other things that we have going on. So that's kind of what's going on here. We're just, as Brianna said, we're in the midst of it all. And we are always looking for folks to help us out in any way, whether it's adopting a child for our Christmas campaign, or whether it's helping out with our Here for Good campaign, helping to donate to that. That fund is used, like I said, between us and Sunbury, and it's used to help out folks, whether it's food, rent, electric, oil, water, anything like that that they can use for that moment. Yeah,
Can we volunteer to be kettlebell ringers? Like I like hearing the sound in my head.
yes. And I can promise you, you'll go home hearing them still.
Okay.
But yes, we are always looking for folks to help volunteer with Kettles. Kettles used to be like our biggest form of income. We're blessed here in this area to have the Here for Good campaign to really help us with that. But there's some times where we have to pay someone, but and if you pay someone out of that, it offers jobs for them. But it is best for us to have volunteers to help keep the income that comes in, because it is to go out to help folks. So yeah, definitely always looking for folks to come out. We have Realtor Day. We have some realtors who come out. Okay. We have the Rotary Club, the Lion Club, we have some high school students who will come out. So yeah, we're always looking for assistance.
Last year, I think it was getting sort of restarted, and I remember seeing it was the most beautiful scene going into the store. There was what appeared to be maybe a grandmother and her granddaughter, and they were going back and forth with the bell and chatting with everyone, and it was just such a community moment, and so you could tell they were having fun with it. But yeah, again, it's sort of one of those nostalgic. It's not the season without the kettlebells.
Yes. It is amazing. We thoroughly enjoy it. This year, if you guys are familiar with Cole's Tree Farm, they opened it up to us this year to allow us to come out there because we have lost some stores due to some places shutting down. And they heard that we were just kind of struggling finding new locations, and they offered us opening weekend. Fantastic. I will be there ringing in my full beautiful Salvation Army uniform, my hat and all, and out there ringing bells. I enjoy it. I thoroughly enjoy it. So yeah.
It's just one of those things. When you talk about donations, are there any particular ones that are really on your radar this year? Maybe beyond just the typical ones. Is there anything special that we could say to our family, friends, neighbors? Hey, can you help? If you can, please share.
Definitely would be monetary, which would be the Here for Good campaign. So if folks want to donate to that, it's hereforgoodcampaign.org. That is where we're really just trying to raise the money to help folks out all year long. But if you're looking for something that's impactful right now, definitely toys for kids. Like I said, we've had an increase in families, and we still have some kids who we weren't able to adopt out, which then means we will purchase the toys for them. So we won't say no, we will purchase. But again, those toys purchases even come from that Here for Good campaign funding that we've gotten all year.
That's wonderful. And I'm going to ask one more question because I kind of want to bring Adrian into the mix at this point, because we know that what you're up to, Evita, with your team, and even the Sunbury Salvation Army as well, covers a certain area of our valley. But Adrian, can you mix in here what is helping in the Columbia Montour in a similar way, so that across the board we can all be looking for the outlet to help this kind of area of campaigning community give back?
Yeah, well, if this is of interest to you, honestly, the exact same thing. Salvation Army is a wonderful organization, proud funded partner of ours. And I know that the people who work in the Bloomsburg office and also actually serve the Danville office have a lot of the same things lined up. And truly, if you're able to volunteer, the kettlebells, and I'm sorry if you said this, but it's worth a repeat, is I think their biggest fundraiser of the year. If it's not the biggest, the second biggest, it's really huge for them. So having all of the people who volunteer, it makes a big impact. And also, I'll speak for the woman in the Bloomsburg office. She works 20 hours a week, and I'm sure she's actually working 40, but she, does all that work at part-time. So having the extra person power for the Salvation Army is really important. So a little bit of a long way here.
Awesome. And I guess maybe to just put in the plug for, is there a summer campaign through Press Enterprise? I think we were chatting about that as we were thinking about, what to share today, what to get folks thinking about. What do you know about that program?
Yeah, I have to always remind myself, because it's a little like closed. It looks like so. Probably not too much to do on this one this year because the application is closed for new families, and I do think that it's I know it's a committee of people. Which actually, Alyssa, are you connected with the committee of people who make the decisions for who gets pulled for Brighter Christmas?
So this is Katie. The Brighter Christmas Fund is now a fund of the Community Giving Foundation. So we took that over from the Press Enterprise a couple of years ago. There is a committee of people from different organizations throughout the community who work together to collect those applications from families looking for support and then give out gift cards and things like that through the program. So really on the donation and support side of it, it would be donating to the fund, which is through the foundation website to help the monetary support of that.
Wonderful. And we will definitely make sure, again, these websites are included in the follow-up materials so that everyone can share them. And please do share them through your networks. As you're hearing today, every bit counts, and it does end up having a ripple effect all year long. So taking that joy and spreading it as far as we can is the name of the game. But now I've effectively called both Adrian and Evita. You're still up, at least on my screen. I'm going to officially turn this into a question and answer, and I'll just put it out to the group, whether live or in chat. What questions can either Adrian or Evita really answer about that community giving, give back zone, how you can get involved and how you can make that ripple effect of the impact? Anybody wanna? I'm just looking at the chat here. I glance over every once in a while the chat. I'm just loving the ideas that are coming through. Thank you for sharing that. Let's say, any questions? I just don't want to rush through any of this.
Hi, this is Cynthia Schroll. I didn't know how to raise my hand.
Oh, perfect.
This is the first time I'm in, but I do have a question for Adrian. Are you aware of anyone doing any type of giving for the veterans home over in Orangeville? And the reason I ask is because it was just Veterans Day. I drive by there all the time. I always wave to the guys. They're always sitting outside. And I didn't know if anyone did any specific type of fundraising or giving to them during the holidays that you're aware of.
That's a great question, and not that I'm aware of, but I actually know that the Orangeville Public Library and Pam Simpson, who runs the library, because of the proximity and the veterans I know are in the library a lot, definitely has taken a special love to that group of people there. So she, if you have a second, might be a good one to reach out to or pop into the library just to see if no one's doing anything. That might even be an area where, a small group of people could do something. Because I think that, out in Orangeville, of course, is, easy to kind of not put the focus on there. So it's a great idea. And Pam would be a good person to talk to about that.
Great, thanks. Because I am a member of the library, so I will talk to her about that. Thank you.
This is Ellen. I can tell you that Light Street United Methodist Church has a Thanksgiving meal on Thanksgiving that does invite the veterans, and we've started to do this last New Year's. We also invited them, and whoever wants to come can come. And it's not just for the veterans, but it is a reaching out to them, as well as we do provide some monetary support for them as well.
Awesome.
Thanks, Ellen.
I just want to circle back through. I was again glancing at the chat, and Linda, you never fail with just the most caring gestures that go the extra mile. But I wanted to draw attention to Linda's message that she said, I love the idea of useful gifts like assorted cards, birthday thank you, thinking of you cards with some stamps. I love that because not only have you connected with whom you're giving it to, but you've given them a vehicle to connect with others, and it just goes the extra mile. So I just want to do a little shout out there and say thank you. Keep flooding those ideas in because it is a way to, really say what works, what really helps to make it a meaningful holiday season and give that gift of joy. So thank you, Linda. um,
That's a great one too, because
Yeah.
stamps, I guess you can get stamps at the grocery, like if you think about it as you're like in the chaos of checking out. But stamps are one of those that I will be like, I need a stamp, and for a week I will not make it to the post office. So I love that idea of like helpful gifts, but that also checks something off your list. My grandmother used to buy me stamps actually, and it was like a huge joke. Whenever I came to the house, she'd have the stamps ready because like I'd raid her desk for stamps, and then she started sending them to me. So those are like actually kind of a very special little thing. So thanks for that, Linda. That's I love stamps.
Yeah, and I can vouch for it. It is really special to receive a handwritten note, whether a full thank you card or just a note on something, because someone took that extra time. Time's our most precious asset, and so if you give time, you're really showing, a moment of connection. And I just, I'm not sure. I personally, I have it on my New Year's resolution to do more of that myself. So you're giving us ideas. I love it.
Bree, can I jump in just because
Yes.
Linda, when you mentioned cards, this is for the whole group. Christmas cards tends to be like a stressful thing each year. So for those of you that do Christmas cards, do any of you guys have tips or tricks or things that you do that make it easier, not as time consuming, not as stressful? Anything that you guys all like to receive? I'd love to get any advice if anyone's got it down. Nope, it's stressful for everyone.
It is on the list.
Colleen, I'll just chime in. I keep an Excel spreadsheet and I print it out so that if anybody's address changes or I know they're moving from year to year, I only print the list once a year, but there's scribble all over it. But it comes in so handy, especially when you're sending cards throughout the year, because sometimes I'm not as good at putting it in my phone or keeping that up to date. So, and I have to give a shout out to the cards and stamps tip. It's courtesy of my 95-year-old aunt who just, one of the things she loves help with is, hey, I need this many birthday cards for her kids, grandchildren, great-grandchildren. She sends me off after the first of the year to buy all these cards for her. And one of her daughters actually sends her stamps as a Christmas present. I'm like, wow, wouldn't it be great to kind of package that together? So I'm like, that's my new hack for Christmas. So
That's perfect. Well, and Colleen, well, you were talking about the stress of getting cards out, whether it's the holidays or beyond. I will tell you this: I've been in chapters of my life with a little. I have a 5-year-old, so like there are just moments where it doesn't come together, and you think you've missed the boat of that opportunity to share. And I've really appreciated where friends or family have posted what they sent out the door. To give the opportunity to maybe share that picture or just moment and kind of let someone off the hook. So sharing back, here's what I would have loved to share if I had had the time to do that step. So there's a little bit of letting folks off the hook of that guilt that's felt for not accomplishing everything. Holiday cards, matching Christmas pajamas, the whole list. You feel like you should be accomplishing, but there are only so many hours in the day. And there are less in the holiday season, I'm finding. But I appreciate all of these. Are there more? What's going through your minds as you're thinking about ways to share and connect this season? I'm loving the chat. Please keep it going. They're great ideas. And actually, maybe what I should be properly doing is, Colleen, can we switch it over to you? Can we talk about some of the things that you have been sleuthing out through your programs or your website here, even?
Yeah. And while we do that, I just saw Megan, who works with me at Susquehanna Kids. She had her hands up. Meg's full of great ideas. So I'm curious what she has.
Oh, share away.
We have a lot of spread out aunts and uncles all over the country, and my then third grader son was interested. He gets the little cards with like $1 in them or something from the great aunts and the great uncle, and he started wanting to write back to them. So for Christmas last year, he got a little pretty shoebox, and it had blank note cards and all different colored pens and a pack of stamps so that he could write back when people write to him. And we've gotten a lot of great feedback from his great aunts and uncles, how much they appreciate getting the cards. They send them, but nobody usually writes back to them. So little Henry note cards in the mail. I still have to address the envelope because, you want it to get to the right place, but he enjoyed getting that. And every now and then it'll be like, hey, you haven't written to anybody lately. And I have miscellaneous piles of old Christmas cards, and last year he did a couple of them himself too and sent them to people. Pick some friends to send them to, or just because they don't write as much as they used to too. So he enjoys doing that. So it was a little Christmas gift correspondence box, something most kids don't usually get under the tree.
I love that. I have one more to share myself because I again have a little, and she's learning to read. And so what we did was we collected up Christmas cards and birthday cards, and we used a hole punch, and we made 3 holes and tied them together with ribbon. And so she can flip through and see some of the messages. And most cards have just a simple message, so you start to see those like 3-letter words over and over again. And she's starting to pick out some of the phrases. So it's been a neat tool, but it's also kind of beautiful to go back through. I imagine you're kind of experiencing the same thing going back through the Christmas cards. If you go, oh, that's right, kind of waving at your family and friends in the process. So I had to share that. But okay, so without further ado, Colleen, tell us more.
Sure. Is it possible for me to share my screen?
I believe you are set.
Okay. Hi, everybody. My name is Colleen Bowman, if I haven't met you all yet. Meg, that's a really great idea, actually, to get the, because if it's their own box and they have their own kind of things, it makes it fun and special for them. So I love that idea. Meg and I work on Susquehanna Kids together, and I just thought this might be a nice opportunity to show you all some resources that we have that you can find, even some of the things that we've already talked about. So the Brighter Christmas Fund and some of those things we have on our website. I'm going to first show you where, this is our landing page, Susquehanna Kids. And if you go to this guides button and then you scroll down, one of the guides that we have is a giving back guide. So if you go right here to this button and you hit giving back, our other mom, Molly, who works with us, puts together our blogs, but we're actually updating this and running this next week, and it'll be on our homepage. But when you scroll down, we pulled together a lot of ways that you can give back in the community. So here's the Toys for Tots in the different regions that we have. That's actually Meg's kids. There's Henry, who's writing the notes. There's a Wreaths Across America program. Here's the Brighter Christmas Fund. And all of these have links. So you can click right on that link and then go right to that website. If anyone has something that they would like for us to add to this giving back page, please reach out to myself or Meg. I'll put our information in the chat. We're always looking to expand it. And again, we're going to run it again next week with some additional resources. On our homepage, we just launched our holiday happenings guide. And so this is really information about where to go find Christmas lights, where to do day trips. We've got a fun calendar on where to find Santa. So when you scroll down here, we've got lights display information. This is the holiday happenings calendar. Megan manages this, and it's a little crazy, but it's also fun that it's all in one spot now. So instead of needing to hear about something from your neighbor or hear about something from the church or find something on Facebook, you can simply just come here and kind of cut out all the noise and see what's going on. It's organized by date, so you can scroll down and see what's going on. We cover the 5 counties. You can also come up here and you'll see this has got 8 tags on it. When you click on tags, you can go through and click, specifically what you're looking for. We have about 75 different tags. Don't let that overwhelm you. Again, you can go right to our holiday guide and kind of link through there. And again, this is a fun new one that we did this year, where to find Santa. So if you've got kids or grandkids that you're looking to, to help find Santa, this has got all that information. And then this year we also added some day trip destinations. So if you're looking to do something a little different this year, we went through and kind of pulled through things that are, 2 hours away or less. Does anyone have any questions about the holiday guide or anything that I've shown? I don't mean to make you guys also dizzy by scrolling so quickly.
I have a question.
Yes.
So at the Salvation Army here in Milton, we're hosting 2 events during Christmas for kids. So one's like a Grinch party and the other one's like Grinch movie night. We're going to have like our food truck out there, snacks, hot chocolate, you name it. So that would be events that we would be able to shoot to you?
I'm about 99% sure they're already on there.
Okay. With the Milton Winterfest?
Yep, that's on there.
Okay. All right.
But in the future,
Yes.
you can, when you go to our calendar page, there's a button that says, I want to add an event. You click that and it goes right to Meg and she'll put it on there for you. So definitely, reach out to include any events that you have. And then the last thing that I wanted to share with you all was, let me go back to my home screen. We've launched and we're still working on a community aid calendar. So when you come on our homepage right here, if you click here, it's going to take you to a community aid calendar. This is something that's new. We're taking what we learned from managing kids activities and applying it to aid in the community. So again, there's one spot that you can go to try to find. So these are the categories that we have down here: health and wellness, food and meals, clothing, diapers, and hygiene products, and community and career resources. Red is Columbia and Montour counties. Blue is Snyder Union and Northumberland. And we've gone on here and started to add kind of, as many things as we can find. So the hope is that if someone, needs food and it's a Tuesday and you're in Sunbury, you can go to the calendar and see, all right, here's 2 churches and a food bank that's open on a Tuesday, and I'm going to head here. Or if you need diapers, or if you need like a walk-in mental health clinic or something like that. The idea is that it's the resources and the asset mapping in the area, but in calendar format, so that it's user friendly. So I wanted to share this with you all. If you have things to add, we've got this contact us button here. We'd love to get again as much information on this calendar as possible. Bree, that's all I got.
Oh my goodness, it's more than huge. Like you and your team and Meg, thank you for all your part in making this even just so user friendly and readable and enjoyable. As far as all the effort you guys have been putting into this, so huge kudos and thank you. I hope that everyone will take a moment to look a little closer or use it over time and then share it. Let's, make sure that we're connecting to others and giving them, it's part of our mantra is to connect and empower and inspire. That's kind of all wrapped in one there. You can accomplish a lot. So please look out for that. And I apologize, I'm half distracted because what I'm going to do is I am sharing my screen back up here again, just to wrap up on a couple of final ideas. But before I do that, I do want to properly take a moment and say, Happy National Community Foundation Week. I believe our committee looked at dates around this, but I don't remember for sure that we actually knew that it was going to land so perfectly to align with just a moment to really recognize the Community Giving Foundation and our community foundations across the state and country. All the hard work that goes into connecting donors and making sure that that ripple effect we're talking about truly happens. Happy National Community Foundation Week. I also want to take a moment to tell you more about Women's Giving Circle. And I don't know, since you're on here, Linda, this is really something that you are so, great at sharing. Would you mind taking a few moments and telling us a little bit more about your experience? I think it would be wonderful to hear from you.
Thanks, Bree. Well, I've been part of the Women's Giving Circle since it kind of got started, and we're a group of women and men who basically raise funds in our area to give out through a competitive grant round process. And the way we raise those funds is through membership. Membership starts at $100 a year and can go up from there, depending on what your budget is. We also hold a fundraiser that we just held in October called Lucky Last One, which is a lot of fun. So look for those dates to save for next year. But really, we raise those funds to give back out into the community, and we're continuing to grow. And again, as Bree mentioned, it's about empowering, connecting, and inspiring one another, and really just working together to lift up the community. One of my favorite things has become our annual meeting where we get to vote on the nonprofits that we're supporting. So one of the key things of membership, and you'll want to do this by the end of the year so that you can vote at next year's annual meeting, is that by becoming a member by the end of this calendar year, you're eligible for the membership's benefits for 2025. And one of those is being able to vote on the charities that are selected in the competitive grant round. You also get an opportunity to nominate your charity. So there's a grants committee that kind of evaluates the grants and things like that. But there's a lot of great things happening with the Women's Giving Circle. And of course, On the Bright Side is one of them. But just some great things happening and some great outreach into the community. And it's sort of like the annual meeting is like our version of Shark Tank for nonprofits. And for any of you that have been there, it is really hard because there's so many great programs and resources. And when you're contemplating voting, you almost break a sweat because you're like, oh, I wish I could vote for everybody. But the more members we have, the more funds we can give away, the more grants we can give. So certainly we're appreciative of those of you on the line that are supporting us. But hey, tell one of your friends about us. Help us spread the good news about the Women's Giving Circle.
So well said, Linda. And I have to tell you, one of my favorite things at the annual meeting too is learning about the organizations. And so every time you learn about a new organization, a program, or project, and all of the time and dedication that they're putting into meeting a need, it's so fun to hear then a couple weeks later of like the continuing chatter around, how can we support them? How can we bring awareness to them? It keeps going. So I will just echo, and this is me emphasizing where Linda was saying, if you become a member and you participate in this whole process, it really does allow for that bring to center moment. Organizations that may or may not be on the radar, or the timing is right to shine a light on their particular program or project. So it really does create a full circle of connection, and we'd really love to have you. And if you are members, please continue to join in. Let us know too where we can help you connect to others, how you can, get engaged to the level that you want to. We do have a steering committee. We have active committees around community outreach and education. We have this lovely On the Bright Side. It's always an opportunity to bring to center again a topic that may be of interest to you, or maybe you've heard from your friends they'd love to learn more about. We're open ears, and we all know that together we can, and that's it's a networking thing. So help us connect with one another, and again, empower and connect and inspire are really powerful words. Let's put them to action. So I did want to share that. And Linda, thank you again for so beautifully summing up what it means to be part of the Women's Giving Circle, because it's really very beautiful, and we'd love to have you in any capacity. And on that note, I am watching time because I want to be respectful of everyone's time, especially knowing it is the most precious commodity, especially during the holiday season. But we want to say, keep your ears and eyes open. We're going to celebrate a new year. 2025 is, already planned to be off to a great start. We will have more to share. We are planning on the bright sides throughout the year next year, and we're just very open to ideas, how again, we can make sure that we're fulfilling what would be most valuable to you, to take a moment from your busy lives and say, on the bright side, let's think about what can we do together. I hope you've learned a lot today. I'm going to do one last shout out for, if you have an idea or a thought, or something you'd again like to share with everyone, either live or in the chat. We will gather it up, but we're just so thrilled to have these moments to come together. Any final thoughts from the crowd?
Huge thanks to today's speakers. Much appreciated.
Yes. We are very fortunate that when we say, hey, you want to come talk, it's an easy yes. So you're absolutely right to say thank you to Adrian, to Evita, to Colleen for sharing, and Meg too. That took a lot of time to put together. We have some very amazing women in the mix here, doing great things. So I guess, well, with that, you have 1 minute extra today. Congrats. A special thank you to our team. And behind the scenes, we have Katie, who has helped us with our tech and making sure that this all runs smoothly today. So can't say enough to say thank you for joining us. We're just so grateful to have this beautiful network. And I hope you have a wonderful, warm, and meaningful holiday season.